The first occurrence of such belief was probably when cave dwellers threw spears at cave paintings of animals they intended to hunt in the coming days or weeks. Psychic attributes were attached to both the paintings and the spears. This developed into shamanic ceremonies, which are still practices today with pipes, drums, totem poles, and animal parts, such as eagle feathers and bear claws. The objects supposedly having the power of the donor. An eagle feather, for example, is thought to be able to improve perceptions, understanding, and sight. Early civilizations developed these beliefs into formalized religions, and eventually paintings, objects, scriptures, and even certain words and numbers were imbued with supernatural powers.
You get into traditional religion, and you think very much sacred objects or sacred spaces. People have gathered and meditated or prayed, and it's collected an energy, it's collected a signature. So in the same way, people's objects can collect a signature. I mean, we do it sort of naturally. I mean, mom passes down a ring or grandma passes down a ring and it becomes sentimental and we think of grandma. Well, maybe there's more going on than just thinking of grandma.
The fad for relic hunting started in antiquity and has been through numerous eras of popularity, whether it be when ancient Rome sought mementos from lost legions, knights of the Crusades seeking out the Holy Grail, Egyptologists dealing with curses in pharaohs' tombs, or Nazis seeking out of the Ark of the Covenant. There are anonymous collectors today who would spend millions on the opportunity of acquiring objects that may give them supernatural powers, or even perhaps immortality. There are two such collectors known to the Beyond team. One such person in France, simply known as the Collector, who is reputed to have lived for hundreds of years, and the other in England, who acquired his wealth from a successful career as a performer. To the general public, probably the most famous of recent examples can be seen on internet auctions, such as those of haunted paintings, walking sticks, and jewelry sold on eBay, winning as much as $65,000 for one supposed haunted object. In this case, it was purchased as a cheap way of gaining some publicity for a casino.
The house is an object, isn't it?
Of course it is. Of course it is. And ground is an object. And if you have a certain event happen around a space in the earth, it's going to carry that energetic signature.
And there is our notorious cupboard. Now, this is the first time I've opened it since the first or second week in January, so about to have a look and see what the heck is happening in here now. Okay, this is the cupboard where we have seen 3 different pictures by 3 different people in here, and there's the little toy that I brought back from Calgary, and it's exactly where I had first put it, but the picture is different. Now, this is for the 3rd time, the 4th time actually, this picture is different. In the last picture, the one that Jan and Gwen and Amy saw, they were sitting side by side. They were not embracing at all. The one Janice and myself saw was a blank piece of paper, and the first was a picture about that size, maybe a little bit bigger, and it was of a boy with a red hoodie and the hoodie on his head. So this is the 4th different picture.
The picture that's in there now is smaller than the one that we saw, and the boy and girl were further back in the picture than they are now, and they weren't, like, she's kissing the boy on the cheek in this picture, and they were sitting side by side in the picture we saw originally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like both facing the camera.
Yeah.
There's 2 complete horses, pictures of horses, brown horses. Only one of them has eyes. There's 3 complete pictures of birds, all with different colors on them. There's 1 traced bird with pencil that's not colored in yet, and it's only 3/4 complete with pencil. There's a thick pencil letter of an O or a D, but it looks more like a D because it's curved a little. So there's a letter of an R and a letter of a D. The three pictures of the complete birds, the most colorful one in the middle, it's blue and red with a yellow beak. It's got claws sticking out of it, brown claws coming from underneath it, and it's actually grabbing in the very bottom of this picture. It looks like a little boy. That's the bird, and that's the boy, and its claws are grabbing the boy by the arm. The boy actually has a smile on his face the closer I get. There's the horse with no eyes. Here's the horse with an eye. An O or a D, but it looks more like a D. It's curved a little.
Well, when we came up to look, when we came to investigate,
Yeah.
we
Three
came
birds.
in here and we never saw any drawings there. The only thing that was there was the cardboard.
2 horses and 3 birds.
Did not see that before coming on.
So those drawings have evolved since that time.
Since November, since you were here.
And Amy definitely would have seen those if she was in there.
I don't remember seeing pictures. I just remember the cardboard for insulation, but I never saw any drawings on there. And those brick, like the toys, there's only a yellow brick and that long white brick.
Yeah.
There was a red brick in there before when we were here. Yeah. There's no red brick now.
And this closet hasn't, she says nobody's been into this closet since.
No.
I'm a photographer worldwide. Wherever there's a crisis, I'm not far from it, camera in hand. I bought the painting in an auction as part of a box lot of odds and ends that contained an old vintage camera that I was hoping to acquire. I was delighted when I saw the painting and realized I'd won 2 prizes for such a small sum. From the first night that I hung the painting, the problems began. I took the painting down, and the problems increased and became very violent and noisy. Eventually I called in a psychic who informed me that the spirit of the last owner had somehow became entangled with the painting, and that in fact the spirit was not at all unhappy, but was insecure and wanted the painting to be hung, and never for me to sell it because it was happy to be here. I promised the painting that I would never willingly sell or dispose of it, and from that time, there hasn't been a single problem. I have photographed carnage left by the death squads in Latin America, the remains of thousands of dead left in shallow waters of the killing fields. I have felt the tormented spirits of the murdered, clamoring to be heard. But this painting brings me peace and a feeling of warmth and companionship that I have never felt before.
Although it is very hard to prove the existence of haunted objects, it would seem that there is enough anecdotal evidence to make the case. Evidence that originates in just about every era of human history. Whereas there certainly seems to be enough personal assertions, there has been very little scientific research in this area of the paranormal. Even when objects have been investigated under controlled circumstances, like with the Turin Shroud, it would seem that it is impossible for scientists to agree on even the data they have gathered. As humanity has turned away from religious dogma and developed more personal, self-asserted beliefs, it would seem, however, that we have not lost the need to believe in the paranormal. In fact, it has been noted that the more technological developments in society, the greater interest develops in the supernatural. The more we are able to learn, the more we need to know. Perhaps objects that we can touch and hold represent for us the possibility of concrete evidence of the paranormal. Yet paradoxically, the more concrete the reality, the less able we seem to be able to technically define or explain paranormal realities. Even with all the tools at our disposal, we are still unable to climb the wall that divides us from the great beyond.